Now, how about them damn Celtics?
All right, we're back with another Boston Celtics video. Today we are talking about the preseason. Preseason is over. 4-game stint. Memphis, Toronto, Cleveland, Toronto again, I should say. And we have winners and losers, obviously, as there are in any stretch of games. And much like Summer League, it's impossible to take anything from a 4-game sample size. Xavier Tillman was a winner last preseason, and then it didn't translate. Maybe he's a
Might
winner
be
again
again
this
this
year,
year.
and maybe it won't translate. We'll have to see. But who's your first winner of preseason, Sam?
My first winner, I'm gonna go with Ugo. I just think Ugo has moved me the most. I had no expectations for him. I thought he was gonna be in Maine. I did not think he would sniff the rotation this year. He's impressed the both of us thoroughly. We've talked about on the show through these 4 games, and he's looked like a good fit on the floor. Like he looks like he's somebody you can trust to not be bad or make bad enough mistakes where it completely exposes you on defense, plays with a high enough motor to be an impactful defender and a chaotic defender, and also is prepared for the small opportunities that come on offense. Like his finale game against the Raptors was great, made a couple threes, had the nice spin move on the baseline for 8 points. Like he did enough in those quick spots to where you're like, oh my gosh, like, okay, like, yeah, I could see him fitting in. Like he could really play off the stars really well and get his own every once in a while too. So this first round pick now from Brad is looking like a sharp selection, and I'm thrilled. I'm excited to see more and more from him. And maybe it doesn't work. Maybe he needs time. Maybe he needs to go to Maine, but it doesn't like there really haven't, even when he's been bad per se, there haven't really been a lot of instances where like, oh yeah, like probably isn't ready yet.
Yeah, no, he looks like one of the most NBA ready guys that they have at the wing position. I don't know how much he plays in the rotation, but I do think he'll be a factor from the start of the regular season. I mean, he's been playing with the starters a lot. He's been rotated in and out with a lot of the guys you expect to play a lot of minutes this season. So I'm excited to see if he gets that early opportunity because he is only 19, right? He's got plenty of time to learn and to grow and to improve, but he looks great right now. My first winner, Josh Minot. I mean, he didn't play amazing in the final game against the Raptors, but I still thought he was pretty good. And in those first 3 games, man, he was just making a positive impact every time he touched the floor, rebounding the ball, cutting off the ball, help defense, defensive intensity. 3-point shot actually looked like it came around in the last couple games, which is not something I would have put on my bingo card. He just looks like a guy who will play winning basketball and knows how Joe Mazzulla wants to play this season. And I think the type of defense that they're going to run this year, where it's more chaos, where it's more, go for steals, go for blocks, take a little bit more risk, cover for each other, sprint around, benefits a guy like Josh Minot, who is this freak athlete who can kind of move around pretty quickly, use his length, get in passing lanes, get up at the rim, help block shots. He looks really good. I'm very excited to see what he can do.
Me too. I mean, it was for me. It was between him and Ugo. I mean, that feels like the most obvious way for us to take this, and like the most obvious way to run the ball on this podcast today. I just think those two guys have been so impressive, and like in similar ways, right? That's like if you want to be negative about anything from this preseason, you can be like, damn man, the guys that really boomed are like in the same position. Like couldn't have really had a massive like leap from a big man. But no, like the Celtics have needed, I think Jalen said this. They've kind of needed somebody like Minot for the last couple of seasons, and they haven't quite had him to come in and just be an absolute like energetic freak off the bench who can do super cool dunks and defends really well. 3-point shot's still a question mark. He's shown promise with it. Like he's had to take him in tight spots. It's not like he's been just wide open, butt naked open, where it's like I have all day to shoot. It doesn't matter. No, there's been real pressure to it too, and I like what we've seen from him. Seems like he gets along with everybody too. Like I feel like that's going to be important for sticking on this team. As silly as it may sound, they kind of lost that with Cornette over the summer. They definitely don't all hate each other, but having somebody who can kind of bond with everybody seems like it's going to be a nice addition, especially like in a season where a lot of things are uncertain. So yeah, I completely agree. Minot, big winner. Can't believe they have him for 2 seasons on a near minimum deal. We talked about that last night. Just a really exciting pickup. Did not foresee this either.
No, he looks good. First loser preseason. You can start again if you'd like.
Last time we did this, I said Baylor. I'm gonna say Baylor again. I just don't think I don't think Baylor's been very
Yeah.
impressive this slate. He just hasn't quite found his niche in the rotation. Like I don't know, like if he's on the floor, why? Why is he on the floor? Why do you play him over the two guys we just talked about? And I don't think there's a good answer to that question if you're Joe Mazzulla. And I don't think that Joe Mazzulla particularly like is excited about anything that he's doing either. It just doesn't seem like that. He hasn't said anything like that to us. It just Shireman does not see minutes. He's not somebody that he seems eager to play. He did start the second half of Wednesday's preseason finale, but he's still just like I forget. I think Jake was talking about this to us on the pregame show, Jacob First to the Floor, where it was like, yeah, he goes out there and just kind of like creates the hardest shots for himself. And that's just not something you need from a guy who's supposed to come off the bench and help you. It just isn't.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of need that 3-point shot to come around and the playmaking skills to come around if you want him to be a relevant rotation piece. We haven't seen that through the first few games of preseason, so we'll see. The 3-point shot has been pretty hot and cold up to this point through this first year of his NBA career, so maybe he'll get hot and maybe it'll change things, but I think that is definitely the biggest loser. I don't really know if I would call Nemish Keita a loser of the preseason. He had a phenomenal last game, but through the first 3 games, it looked pretty rough, and you questioned, like, why haven't we seen any noticeable improvement from the first few years? Like, it was just the same mistakes over and over. I guess I'll go with him, but it kind of feels like bad timing too because he had a phenomenal 4th game against the Raptors, but I still think it is important to even if not to talk about the actual things that he did poorly, to mention the fact that he needs to do it consistently, right? Like if he goes throughout the regular season and has 3 bad games, 1 good game, that's not good enough anymore. Like that's not going to be, an acceptable standard to be held to. He's not the 4th center on the roster anymore. He's supposed to be the number 1 center on the roster. So I I do think he needs to be able to play like he did against the Raptors game in Boston more consistently. So I'll put him on that list. But I guess you can really just say the big man position in general because I don't think Luka Garza had a particularly great last game. I don't think Chris Boucher had an amazing last game either, and I don't know if you can really use him as a consistent 5 against certain groups. So I think that's a little bit of a iffy situation going on there. So I guess that'll be the choice. I don't know about you, and if you have one, I'll let you go ahead. I don't know how many other big losers there were for the Celtics this preseason. I think it was a pretty entertaining stint, and I think a lot of guys outperformed a lot of expectations.
Yeah, I think I feel like the big man position is like a good answer to this because we didn't walk away with like a clear cut number one. Like when we all came into this I guess the offseason, but also the preseason where it's like, all right, like it's gonna be Nemi, and then it really didn't clearly seem like it was gonna be Nemi, and then there were times where it was Chris Boucher. Joe Mazzulla basically told all of us at multiple press conferences, I don't know if I have a rotation. So don't get married to the idea. And it does just feel like the rotational things for the Celtics are going to be game to game, matchup to matchup, and he's just going to play whoever he feels like the best fit is. I think there were like Luka Garza's preseason was weird because there were moments where he looked good and moments where he looked bad, which is not weird when you say it out loud for a guy who's meant to be your second or third string big. That's kind of how it goes for those type of players. But we were really excited about him to start, kind of like teetered and like petered out a little bit at the end. But Nemi finished strong. And Nemi seems to have the full confidence of Joe, which is a really important thing. And hopefully he's able to build on this. Like maybe there was a little bit of like fatigue or rust or something going into the preseason where he had wrapped up Eurobasket, maybe took some time off, and then was getting his win back at training camp. Don't completely know. But yeah, like I think they need somebody to step up. Don't know if we've quite seen it yet, but Tillman is like a sneaky winner because he's not dead anymore.
Yeah,
He's back
I
walking
agree.
around. He's out of the grave. He's been revived.
I think Xavier Tillman looks like a real rotation player right now. Like he's been really, really, really good for the Celtics this preseason. The screening's been great. The rebounding has been solid. I mean, there's obviously concerns about his size, and he does get beat at the rim and sometimes on the boards. So I think that's a valid concern to have. But he looks like he just knows where to be on the floor. He's a very smart player, very smart defender, fits the scheme they're playing defensively. Jim Mazzulla talked about that last night. So that's another winner. I don't know how many other losers we have. I think we covered most of the main winners and losers. That are surprises, I guess. I think Derek White's a big winner based on how he looked in the Toronto game when he was in Boston. But I think we all kind of knew that he could do that. So I don't think that was necessarily a huge surprise. Do you want to do any other winners and losers? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. For me personally, I feel like Anthony Simons was kind of a loser of the preseason. I wasn't very impressed. I think his defense was almost worse than what I anticipated it being. Don't get me wrong. I still think there's a very, very painfully clear pathway for him to positively impact this team, right? His 3-point shooting, especially in that Cleveland game, was off the charts, right? He's a phenomenal shooter, can get to his spots, can space the floor, can run plenty of actions with Jalen, with Derek, with Sam, with Peyton, like using their spacing, coming off screens from the big guys, getting to his shots. Like, I think he'll be just fine this season, but the defense is definitely something to worry about. The Raptors were setting like multiple screens of possession just to get him in the action last night. Like it just looks like something that needs to be, talked about, because I do think it's going to come up quite often.
I fear for what a playoff series may look like if he's involved. Because I actually like him. Like, I think there are cool things he does on offense. The Raptors game was really bad. Like, he did not handle the pressure of being the only ball handler very well. I know Mazzulla said he did it on purpose, but like there were moments in the preseason, the Cavs game was one of them where you're like, nice. The second half against the Raptors last week was nice. Like, he didn't play the Grizzlies game. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. But at the same time, if you're going to only really be good on offense, you have to be pretty consistent. And, we'll see how that works in the regular season. I think he's definitely going to help this team at times. You can see where he's going to be an asset for the rotation. But defensively, it may take some time too. I mean, there's really nothing that I've heard more of or like really has stuck with me than Jaylen Brown talking in media scrums and stuff where he's like, this is going to take some time. Like Jalen saying that like makes me think he's not that confident in the team, which he may be confident in the team. And that just may be me reacting to it and being like, this is weird. But like last week when he was talking to you guys, he was really hammering on that. He's like, it's going to take a little time. Like basically being like, everybody calm down. Like we're trying to figure it out. I thought they looked good against the Raptors though. Like when Jalen was out there, they looked like a very competent basketball team. I joked and tweeted like, is this team going to win a title? You were hyped about them too. Like they were up big early. And then once Jalen went out, it got worse. So Jalen in there, good. Jalen not in there, probably not good. That might be the story of the season. He may have Jokic type plus minus numbers.
I mean, I don't know if it'll be that significant. I think Derek and Peyton are good enough, but you definitely need Jaylen Brown to win basketball games for the Celtics this season. So we'll have to see the updates on that injury when it comes out. But let us know what you think. Appreciate you for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe, and all the same. Take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. We are here every single day. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps of the morning after each game. And the videos are here in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find the two of us streaming on Spotify and Apple too. All pods and recaps are there, audio only. So if you just want those followed, they'll go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We appreciate that very, very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We're reading them every single time we do the show. hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook's name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jack's1NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Check.